Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to Tabletop Reviews. For today I'm having a look at Aqua, Biodiversity in the Ocean. Or at least that's what I thought it was called, but it has no tagline on the box, but it does on the rule books. So, and it's also called on Board Game Geek, I believe, so it's a bit of a weird one, that one. Another thing that's weird is I was under the impression that this was an up-and-coming game by the same people who made Heat, Daniel and Asger. But this is made by Dan and Tristan Halstead with artwork by Vincent Dusray. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, obviously. Like, these guys are probably very talented board game designers, but I just thought it was by them. Yeah, whatever. Let's get it to the table, see how it's played and how it's... Well, first we'll see how it's set up and then we'll see how it's played. Alright, Aqua, Biodiversity in the Ocean, I thought, but there's no tagline. Alright, let's have a look here. Can I get it up? There we go. And a bunch of rules. A whole bunch of rules, actually. Nifty little score pad here. Okay, so to start, every player will get a random starting tile. You just distribute them as you seem fit. I'm losing daylight, that's not good. You just distribute these as you seem fit, right? Every player should get one. And of course, depending on the player count, you will remove an amount of tiles from these ones here. But I'll talk about that one. Start player token. Alright. Can I get out the correct ones first try? Probably not. 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm kidding. Okay, hold on. The stars. There we go. So, okay. So, it's actually difficult because it's going to take up quite a bit of space, but do have these ones here, which is some customary rules which you will split out onto the table. 6 of them, just randomly, and these 6 will go with one of these 6 here. So I kind of place them out, just kind of randomly. Like this, and there's, of course, 3 more. Now I've just played with every single one of these in every single game, so I actually can't remember if there's a rule for how many you have of these specific ones for a certain player count. I like to then take these ones here. You should take these ones, and this one is a specific amount per player count, but I like to put them up here. Can you even see that on the camera? Just about. But kind of place them up behind these, right? So yeah, we'll take the amount that you need and the ones you need and just place them out here. Highest number on top, of course. Is that it? Yes, that was it. Now these are easily to recognize which ones you don't use because they have that tiny little symbol there. These are the ones you don't use at specific player counts. So just put these inside. Then, as I said, you'll need a specific amount of the regular tiles depending on the player. This stack should match the amount you need for a 2-player game. Should match that. So I'm just gonna place that out here. Alright. So then each turn, just set up for 2 players here. Each turn you will take out an amount equal to the players plus 1. Very regular amount. So, the starting player should put out the snail token here into the middle of the table. Everyone can take this one if they wish to. Or I will choose a tile to take. So let's see, maybe I'll take this one. My opponent crush for me, well then maybe they will, there's no really good tiles for them, they'll take this one and place it here, right? Then you refresh up here, go again from me, from this person here. So the person that goes last will start always. Now the way the snail token works is, a player could, on the turn, take it, put it to the side, and then they are automatically last this turn, but first next turn. It makes a lot more sense if you're more than 2 players, I guess. But like, then this person at the last person takes the snail token, takes a card, refresh, puts it into the middle to showcase I'm going first now. And then they place, I guess, this one here, as you can see. That makes a purple, which is this thing over here. Oh, it's obviously not purple, it's that color. But placed in here, right? Let me actually... I'm just gonna make this one over here really good for this player here. That's pretty decent. That's very good. Then you get this one here. It's a lot more difficult than you would think. Okay, I need a green and blue, but none of these work. Green and blue right here. So place this one in here. Bam. Then you take the blue one. And then I'm just gonna add a green one just for the sake of it. Here we go. Now, as you can see, I've created this massive one, so I can actually place this one on top. Obviously, at prior points, I could have placed this one, or this one, or even right now, I could place this one instead. It kind of depends. This is actually a fairly bad board because it's 4 different ones. You kind of want to have multiple of the same color. And if you want to go for this one, you probably want more pink ones. So I'd probably try to make another pink one down here, which could work like this. So I get another pink one to place here. You have this one on top. There we go. This is just an example. Now, to score it, I remove this one so I can see all these ones here. And then I'll go down and I will count up multiple things. First of all, you have just the points on this one and the points on these ones. Then you have all the coral reefs next to it. Let's just say, these 3 are the beginnings of a coral reef that aren't quite complete because they need to be 4, but let's just say they are. So this would be 15 points for that one, and it's 3, 6, 9 plus 4, that's 13 points for those ones, that's 28. And then this blue one would score 5, this purple one would score 6, and this yellow one, if you had completed it, would actually score 7. So that is that's 18 plus the 27, that is, oh boy, so that's 14, 15, so that's 35, 45. And then you would look at these ones over here and score bonuses. So let's start from the first one here. The red ones score 1 extra point per other one they're next to. So this red one is next to 3, so that's 3 extra points, bring us to 48. No yellow ones. The green one would score bonus points for each of these. We don't have any. So blue ones would score bonus points for each of these. Don't have any. Purple, don't have any. The pink ones score bonus points for each of these ones, and they both do. So that's actually 8 extra points, bringing us to a total of 56. That's a terrible score, but this is also not at all a complete board. And that's how you play and score games here. This is just a great example. There we go. One major thing that is the only real module in here is this entire stack of extra scoring of these ones, like 18 cards in total. So giving you the opportunity to change up these scorers in here to have a different outcome of those different things to chase down. This is just an example. Let's get back up to the tape. Alright, there we go. Aqua, Biodiversity in the Ocean. With a single little module to it. Yeah. It is a sort of a polyamorous adjacent game with these are just, it's only hexagonal shapes, but you are assembling them in whatever way you end up doing it. So it's sort of polyamorous adjacent to it. It's very much like Cascadia, obviously, except with a few differences, but you still have a market in the middle with +1, with the player count +1 tiles of hexagonal shape. that you then draft to put in. Difference, of course, being you don't draft an animal with them, and you only have those for each player for the round, with then changing first player tokens. The gameplay on that one is fine. It's sort of drafting, but it's very open drafting, which is fine. I like all forms of drafting, honestly, so it's fine. It's just very annoying to sit there and know I need that one tile. Other people probably think I need that one tile as well. I mean, I made a very idealistic choices in the setup, obviously, just to showcase it. That is not what's going to happen. It's going to be a struggle to get proper points. And the colors are obviously very cool looking colors. It's very awesome looking. I'm talking about gameplay. Where am I in my head at here? I don't know. It's been a long day, I think. So that's part of it. Nice building it out. I also love trying to make these go into a pattern that you can use for something, and trying to figure out how to get the big one, because the big one scores more points. That's what you want, right? The whale shock. It's a very cool mechanic. It's something that very much entitles my head. But most of my friends don't want to play these kinds of games because they're very unthematic, but I'll get to that part in just a second. You have all the way of scoring, which, I mean, having the reefs rule in is fine. It's a good way to score extra points, but I also started my rules teach by saying you shouldn't go for this. It should just be an extra thing where, like, if I can add this one to make a reef, then cool, but you definitely shouldn't go for it. You need to have the animals down, and you need to think about, like, you know, you need to get like 3 yellows and then get the big tile that match the yellows. In the wing thing I showed, I got 2 pink ones and scored obviously 8 points from those. You could make that even more if you go for it, which you definitely should. Go for some specific ones to score extra on those amounts. 100% you should go for that. 100%. So it's very obvious in that term. Then you have the snail, which we haven't used it at all. In a 2-player game, it doesn't make sense to use it. In a 3-player game, it barely makes sense to use it. In a 4-player game, it's just like, you just kind of forget. You plan out trying to react, and it's like, if you're last, just last, and if you're first, are you that desperate to go first next round? Like, if you go, the way it usually goes is you go first, second, third. Or if you start second, you get second, third, first, or third, first, second. Even a 3-player game, right? Because of the way it rotates around. So it's very quickly going to be your turn again. It's just, if you're third, maybe in a 4-player game, if you're coming third, you might want to change it up to become first next time. Or if you're second. I can't see it being used by the first player or the 4th player. Like, you're still already the first player right now. Maybe it's just if you have absolutely terrible choices and you just kind of want to get the last tiles and then start off next turn with hopefully something better. Maybe that's when it just hasn't been used by us playing the games. I can't really see the idea with it. I don't know, you just go around, but it's a final edition, I guess. But yeah, the gameplay is that's probably everything I have to say about the gameplay. Components wise, it's very nice, thick cardboard. It's very thick. So like it's hefty pieces, even if it's just cardboard. You almost forget that it's just cardboard. It's there though, that hefty. So that's nice to have that. The artwork is of course amazing. Winston to trade, always amazing. And now he does animals as well. Incredible artwork, and it's very easily recognizable. Like, even though it's colors, they scream at you. You know what it is. Screams at you. You know what it is. Unless you're extremely colorblind. So that's awesome, of course, because we do play with someone who is minorly colorblind. Like, he has something, and this is definitely something that shows when you're like, is this one red or green? With this one, there isn't a lot of that because they are that screamy colors. And that's of course very nice, because a nice colorful reef is what you want. Let's talk about theme. As I said, it's polyamorous adjacent, and usually those don't really have a theme. It's basically just match colors to create shapes of bigger colors. And this color sort of comes in here as well. It's random which fishes create the bigger fishes. Like, if that wasn't random, it's like you want to get some seahorses to create the whales, because the whales eat the very little ones, and you want to have some clownfish to create this sharks because they eat those. Maybe we could talk about it then, because then it's like you're building this up. But because that is random, and it's just sometimes it makes sense, then I'm kind of annoyed by it. You don't need any of them to build the bigger fish as well. So it is very much just creating colorful shapes to create bigger shapes. So that's a bit annoying, I guess. Thematically, just a disconnect. I can't even really formulate it in any way. Like, it does make sense, you need the reef at the bottom, and you need the smaller fish and then the bigger fish, but that's like the bare minimum of creating a nature themed game, is getting that construct correctly. So it falls out with this polyamorous adjacent thing, but I do like that kind of gameplay. So that is the theme and stuff. Let's does it lie to you? 8 and up, 1 to 4 players, 30-45 minutes. 8 and up, I don't know, because you do have this reef rule, which is a weird scoring rule. I didn't mention that enough. As I say, it is a bit of a weird rule, which I think I was the only one who grasped correctly. That's also why I said, don't worry about the reefs. If you have one, cool, it sends some extra points, but worry about the fish. You could say that to a child where you gotta play without the reefs. That's pretty simple, but I think there's a lot of things that add up in terms of scoring and the way you puzzle this together. So even though it's just kind of colors and shapes, I think you need to be older, because it is quite a lot of things that need to work together to create a good score in this game. 1 to 4 players, sure. As I said, like the snail doesn't make any difference. I haven't played this solo, but 2 to 4 I could see it working. At that player count is a very neutral, good player count to have, and it's easy to make a game like this work with that player count. So it works at 2 to 4 players, definitely. I'd probably prefer the 3, which is a very wide thing. Like with games that are 2 to 4, I just prefer them at 3. What was it? I think Baron Park is also 1. Ikesfera, Aqua here, Splendor. That's a weird little thing I've noticed. There's a lot of games that said 2 to 4. I prefer them at 3, but do like them still at 2 or 4. That's interesting. 30 to 45 minutes? Yeah, sure. About that half hour, 3/4 of an hour. That doesn't make any sense, but yeah, I would say yeah, sure. If you know the game, it goes that fast, because you're just picking these up very quickly. So it is a quick game by some game standards. Of course, some people are probably playing Uno and thinking that's long. So yeah, it's kind of honest, this game. So what's my score going to be for it? Oh, I forgot to mention the changing of the scoring of the small fish tiles. It's a fine module. It just, it changes up the scoring. It's something to keep in mind when you're playing. Play it regularly a couple of times, then add that rule, I think. It's just something to change it up a little bit. That's nice for replayability purposes. Anyways, my score for this is going to be an 8 out of 10. It's fairly high, it's pretty high. It's not going to break that 9 or 10 out of 10, there's a thematic disconnect. I think I say that sometimes. There's definitely a thematic disconnect there, and that's always going to drag it down a little bit, because then it's just shapes and colors. But I do love this gameplay of trying to create most scores, thinking about, like, I want a big one, which means I need the pink ones. How can I create as many pink ones as possible to score as many points on that as possible? While still just, like, I need to just get some shapes down, because if I don't get those, if I have the possibility of creating a yellow one, I should probably do that more than get that pink one stuff. And then trying to just have a few reefs around as well that you can score on. That's always, it's a really, I love that kind of gameplay, so it scores highly on that. Drops down because of the theme. I think it drops down because of that snail rule, which is just complicated to explain and it isn't barely used. The extra scores for the ones, it doesn't really do anything, I think. So yeah, it's pretty at an 8 out of 10. Am I keeping it? Aqua it's a little bit at threat, I would say. Because it is sort of polyamorous adjacent. I've sold New York Zoo and Cascadia in my recent memory. And Baron Park, recently I've reviewed that one, or maybe that review is coming up after this one, I don't know at this current point. This one, I reviewed Baron Park and I also said it there. It's polyamorous games, adjacent games that aren't very thematic. They're very can't remember the words for that one, but that are very thematic, but try to hide with some theme. They are in sort of in danger. I don't know. I think I will play Aqua a little bit more and see if I can get those to play it. But Aqua will probably go before Bear on Park. So yeah, I'm keeping it for now. Shall we say that? For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.